Well guys, Jamie has quite the track record as you have seen in many of our reviews, and today he's going to be making a beef Wellington, so fingers crossed.
A lot of people get freaked out about doing beef Wellington for 10 or 12. It's a big thing, it's very expensive, but if you break it down for 2, you can manage it.
Today Jamie's going to be making an individual beef Wellington. These are a lot easier. I mean, they're still technical, you still have to try to perfect them, you still can't overcook them, but it's not the same thing as making a big beef welly.
And it all starts with a beautiful chunk of grass-fed beef fillet. What's the most appropriate herb for beef fillet? Rosemary, an absolute classic.
Right, so today Jamie's going to be adding rosemary to this. Now, normally I would add thyme to this, same as Gordon Ramsay. Thyme is a very common herb in French cuisine. You can use rosemary as well. This is also one of those herbs that goes very well with steak or beef. Tarragon also goes well, but for me personally, I prefer thyme.
Just run your knife through the rosemary, season it up, then get your fillet steak and just roll it and fold it.
Well, this is where Adam Ragusa must get his cutting board and not his steak.
With a little olive oil, a good knob of butter, a couple of cloves of garlic.
Adding olive oil to the pan is a normal thing, okay? We do use olive oil in the kitchen. Ramsay uses it. I've used it in every kitchen as well to make steak or beef wellies. It's normal to use for searing.
We go in with the steak. Oh yeah. Keep basting it. So let that cool. And then all this fat has done its job, so we'll get rid of that.
Right, now Jamie's doing one thing that differs from either me or even Gordon Ramsay. Normally, I like to add the thyme in separately, not to put it on the steak. Why? Because if you look at the rosemary now, you can see that he's been searing the steak. He's also been basting, but the rosemary looks burnt. It looks black. Now, you can do this, it's not a problem, but if you add the herbs in separately to the pan, you can remove them. Why? Because it seasons the oil, which is what you want.
We're gonna make a mushroom duxelles, which is basically a mushroom pate. This, wrapped around the beef, is a thing of absolute beauty. So I'm gonna roughly chop a nice red onion.
What? Jamie's using a red onion. Normally when you make a duxelles, right, because you have to keep in mind, this is a very French thing. Even the name is French, duxelles. We use shallots. Now, you can use onions, it's not a problem. But shallots are like halfway between garlic and an onion. They're sweeter, they're not as sharp, and normally they go great with sauces, and they also go great with pâtés or anything else. So in French cuisine, we use them a lot. We use a lot of thyme, we use a lot of shallots, garlic, and white wine with cooking, or wine in general.
So let's talk mushrooms, guys. The great thing about this dish is you could use the cheapest mushrooms or the most expensive, and this is still absolutely sublime.
Oh, interesting. Jamie looks to have a good medley of mushrooms here. Are those chanterelles? He has chanterelles as well. You know how expensive those bloody things are. Now, when you're making a duxelles, you can use any mushrooms really that you want, but certain mushrooms have certain flavors. So normally we use either crimini, button mushrooms, chestnut mushrooms, same thing, basically. You can use pretty much anything.
The onions, I'll put the smaller ones in whole. Button mushrooms, I can just crush in my hand. Look at that.
He loves to crush things with his hands. I mean, Jamie is a very hands-on chef. You can tell this, no?
Put them in your hand, and in there, that is pure flavour.
He's very handsy.
Don't forget, we've got the garlic. If you just squeeze it out of the skin, we can put that straight back in here. Now, if you want to pimp it even more.
Right. It's still early morning, and I didn't actually think I was going to wake up today and hear that if you want to pimp your mushrooms,
then dried mushrooms are key. These are porcini. You need a tiny amount, literally 3, will make all the difference. Put these in a little glass.
Noted. If you want to pimp your mushrooms, we're going to use some dried ones.
Just put some hot water over the top, and the flavour extracted is like a massive fungi stock cube. And just go in with these soaked mushrooms.
Right, so Jamie is making his duxelles non-alcoholic. He's not adding any white wine to this to like deglaze it. Instead, he added just, well, the stock, you could say, from the mushrooms, which is okay if you want to make it like this. But if you add a good white wine to this, it will add a sweetness to the duxelles.
We can also put in any resting juices from our steak, and at this stage, we're going to wazz it up. Now, you can do this by hand, but I find food processors get a nice pate-like.
This is something that I fully agree with Jamie on. Like, from a chef's perspective, when you're cooking in the kitchen, you want to make things practical. If you want to practice, that's fine. But if you want to get the job done, you need to be practical about things. Using a food processor is fast, and it does the same thing that a knife would do, but 10 times faster, if not 100.
Lid goes on, and we'll have a little whiz up. Right, the duxelle is done. Next, I'll show you how to make pancakes.
Right, so Jamie's going to be making some crepes for us. Now, this is a very classic way on making a beef welly. Normally, you use a crepe, and sometimes, as we see here, Jamie's going to be adding some spinach to this. Me personally, I prefer Gordon style on making a beef Wellington. Instead of using puff pastry to make a crepe where it makes it thick, he's actually adding Parma ham, so it adds a little bit of saltiness. You can use jamon serrano as well if you're in Spain, or prosciutto, but it's delicious. It really does make a difference.
We go with the 1 cup method. So grab yourself any cup. We're going to do 1 milk.
No, not any cup. It has to be a builder's mug. Remember that. Builder's mug, not any cup, yeah? By the way, if you want to get my mug, you can in the link below, yeah? They're pretty cheap. And if you're thinking that, oh, that's quite expensive, just remember that I literally make almost nothing off of these cups. So I'm not doing it just because of that, more just advertising.
We're then going to go with 1 cup of self-raising flour. Lovely free-range egg goes in, 100 grams of spinach. So I want to add colour and flavour.
Right, normally we do add spinach for color with sauces and everything, but if you're going to be adding this to the crepes, it may have been a better idea to then extract the excess moisture because spinach has a lot of extra water in it.
And in no time at all, you get this crazy green pancake batter that is so good.
Interesting. Jamie didn't add any butter to his recipe.
Add a little olive oil to a pan and simply go in with that batter, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Once it's dried up on the top, you can simply just turn it over, give it 10 seconds on the other side. So there we have 1 lovely, vivid green pancake.
This is rare. I mean, not to mean that Jamie is a bad chef. I'm not saying this at all. But with the videos that we have seen, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen as well, so far, not bad.
The beautiful steak, the mushrooms, this amazing pancake. I'm going to use this lovely little technique, which is going to help you build this incredible feat of gastronomy. So I'm going to add my pancake. I want the heat and the aggression of beautiful English mustard.
Ooh, whoa, this is different than Ramsay. Now here you can see 2 fundamentally different methods on making a beef welly. Ramsay's way of doing it, he adds the mustard, English mustard, to the beef as soon as it comes out of the pan, so that way the beef absorbs the flavor. Jamie is taking a little tube of mustard and just putting it on the crepe.
So we want just under a centimetre of this incredible mushroom paste. Just spend a little bit of time evenly moving this around. And then once you've done that, we're going to grab our lovely steak. And then if you just twist it, the action of doing that, squeezing out the air, just gives you this perfect little kind of sphere. And that, my friends, is going to sit inside your pastry and it's going to be phenomenal.
Perfect. I beg to differ. Normally when you want to wrap the beef welly, you want to pull it extremely tight. I don't cut the clear film first. I actually keep the roll behind the cutting board. Gordon does the same thing, as you can see in his video that we reviewed, and you can pull it much tighter. And if you double the film as well, it won't tear on you so easily, so you can pull harder when you want to twist tight. That way you have a perfect cylindrical shape. The reason why, the better the shape, the more evenly it will cook. This is more important with a longer beef Wellington. This one's so small that it doesn't matter as much, but you still see it's a little lumpy, isn't it?
So I'm using lovely all butter puff pastry. So I can take this, place it on here, I can use my knife and sort of just trim it up like that.
This is something I don't understand. Why does Adam say that he hates making beef Wellington when he literally makes everything from scratch?
Okay, I'm a level with you. I do not think that you should make beef Wellington.
Including the puff pastry, which is like, come on. You don't even see Gordon or Jamie using puff pastry, or Chef Jean-Pierre.
Egg wash. Just go around the edge like that. So think of it like edible glue. We're gonna lay this over the top.
You know, this is something that I've said about Jamie in almost every single video, and I'll say it again. The one thing that I really love about Jamie is that he has an excellent TV personality. He's a good presenter.
Woo! Yeah!
And he is also very good at explaining things.
All of this happens in a pan, so it's a super convenient recipe.
Even though his recipes are, let's say, not up to par with Ramsay, they're not the same level, Jamie explains exceptionally well.
It's just kind of trim around the edge. So now, egg wash this. That is more than perfect enough to whack in the oven, but oh no. I want to do this for someone very special. So I'm going to go the extra mile. Roll out a chunk of pastry.
What's Jamie gonna do? Let's see.
I want to show you a little technique that's kind of fun, and do little inch slices with a little centimetre gap. When it comes to the second line, we're going to go an inch slice, but we're going to go within the gap.
This is good. Jamie's making his little lattice by hand. You can also get like a little cutter to actually make the lattice if you want, or you can take the back end of a Perry knife and just score it to make a different design. A lattice is extra, so there's going to be extra puff pastry on top of what you already have, which is fine, but it may make it a little too heavy if you don't want that much puff pastry.
I'm just going to trim off the excess. Use your thumb and forefinger and push down that edge and have a pinch. Who would have thought a few scores and a few pinches could be so effective?
Why is it that when Jamie says scores, I think of 4 scores and 7 years ago? I don't know why. It's one of Abraham Lincoln's famous speeches. Funny enough, if you didn't know this, we already know what a dozen is, no? But a score is 20. So 4 scores is basically saying 80.
We're going to cook it in a preheated oven at 220 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes exactly at the bottom of the oven, so you get a crispy bun.
Right now, Jamie's explanations are very good. Much better than Jack's with his pulled pork. Ooh, you guys haven't seen that video, go check it out at your own risk, okay? Hey, he looks a little bit like Wolverine right now, doesn't he? He has his little meat claws out. Oh,
let's try this.
Oh no! Oh!
I just want to shred it. I should just use it in my KitchenAid.
Undercooked.
Knock up a delicious onion and thyme gravy, finished off with a cheeky glass of port and that leftover porcini liquid.
Well, it's good. Jamie's making his little sauce with this. Normally a nice demi-glace goes with this, but if you just want to use the leftovers from the steak that you were cooking or anything, save the leftover jus. It's very important because this adds flavor for the sauce.
Simmer away until thick and shiny, and you'll have the perfect partner for your beef Wellington. Gorgeous. It is a thing of utter beauty. Commit to the middle, carves down all the way to the bottom, and then the moment of truth.
Ooh. Oh, that looks beautiful. Jamie cooked that perfectly.
Oh, yes! Come on, man, look at that. Let me introduce you to your new best friend.
Very nice. And I think he got it on the first try. I really do. I don't think Uncle Roger's ever going to see this video. You know why? It's too good.
Gorgeous. And just add that sauce so it surrounds that Wellington. I'm gonna go straight for the middle. Oh, it's so crispy. Right down to the bottom.
Now, normally when Jamie tastes his things, it's like, well, you don't know if he's faking or not, you know, with some of the things we reviewed, but this looks delicious. I mean, of course, it's not the way that Gordon makes it or other chefs, but still, I think Jamie did a really good job.
The beef fillet is so tender. That incredible mushroom duxelles. The pastry's crisp, it's really special, and every now and again, you deserve something special with someone you love.
That's very true. And Jamie, I have to admit, this is one video besides the carbonara video that I think is an excellent recipe. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, guys, take care.